guys, it's Brian here, Stogie Review, IPCPR 2019, and we're doing what we do every year. We're in the Tatuaje booth with Pete Johnson, going to talk for some arbitrary number of minutes about life, the universe, and everything.
I love
and probably these cigars, but
we'll talk about these for a little bit.
These or whatever, you know, maybe those and whatever.
These are fun. Chuck and Tiff. I did them in the pudgy size.
I see that.
I saw a Facebook post of, I can't remember who it was, and I never could find it again, but it was like literally a picture of a couple monsters and then a small version coffins of Chuck and Tiff, and the guy said, feel free to use this.
Yeah.
And he did like a Photoshop job, right? So, and then another guy kept on complaining that I never did Chuck and Tiff, and he was messing with him. Then you just skipped him. You just didn't want to do them. You skipped them. So I kept it real quiet. I didn't do the lighter with LA Blue this year. Didn't tell anybody anything. The only people that knew were people in my office that saw the artwork being designed. And but no one knew what I was doing with the box except for the box maker and of course the factory.
So you made it right. They were missing, and now they're here. So what's happening? It looks like they slide together.
They slide together like
pieces.
a puzzle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's puzzles on the top, so I guess it all ties together. I get what you did there. I see it now.
Just subliminal, very a lot of things like, okay, I kind of get it.
Have you had anybody try to pull them directly apart?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But I'm going to ship them separately because I'm afraid they're going to break during shipping.
That's entirely possible. Maybe run some foam in there. So what else? What else is happening, man?
We came back out with the Mexican experiment.
Okay.
So we actually are releasing in a limited run ME1s with a set of ME2s. So Tatuaje ME2. Which is a 60,000 stick run on each of them, but eventually the ME2s will be full production.
Okay, they'll be full production.
Yeah, that's the one I'm smoking now is the ME2. The ME1s look like they did originally, which was the limited bands.
Okay. How soon are we going to see those?
August.
August?
Yeah,
August
I mean, you
those?
might be the first person that has actually asked me when are we going to see them.
I try to remember to.
Except for, the retailers.
I usually forget to in videos, but I'm getting better about remembering to say that. Because you get rolling with the conversation. And, you start talking about distilled IPAs or something like that, which he was talking about. I'm intrigued by this. And
yeah, the brand name is Sharp A.
Sharp
A. He's out at Ukiah, California, and he has one of those old Alembic stills. There's like 5 in the world.
Yeah.
And he takes Racer X IPA. What's the brand that makes that?
That's Bear Republic.
Bear Republic.
Yeah.
He does it by the tanker and then distills it down to whiskey.
That sounds so intriguing. I really want to try that.
And I did a side-by-side with some whiskeys that I can count on next to that, and I was like, okay, this is so trippy and different.
Yeah.
But it's a different style. I mean, all together it's a different style.
But we went off target.
Off target.
Yeah. What else were we doing? So we covered the ME1, the ME2. Where are we going from there?
I have a new tattoo called Favorito.
Favorito. Okay.
I changed the packaging on the tattoos to simple cabinets to save the money.
Okay.
And keep the price point the same. The Favorito is a 4x50, and it's $4.50.
It's 50 cents. Nice.
And I have a new Triunfador that's based off of just very simple, old school Cuban blending that we make at the same factory where we make the tattoos. It's more like a Rosado Claro color, so it's got a little bit of hue of red to it. I mean, not real red, but just reddish beautiful. That beautiful like Colorado color that are on a lot of Cuban cigars.
Yeah.
And I convinced Jaime to do them for me at a great price point, and they're $4 a stick. It's also 4x50. That's $4 a stick.
4x50. $4.50.
Yeah, the other one was, but these are $4.
Oh, those are $4.
But they're in bundles.
Okay, I got you.
And it's not a Triunfador blend. It's actually a whole new blend, but I used the Triunfador packaging somewhere over in that cabinet over there. So it's like that old school triangle bundle. Remember
oh
those?
Yeah.
Everything about it's just simple. I kind of modeled it after the style of like smoking a Quintero Favorito. over in Europe, like every time I go to Europe for business, I'd always buy Quintero Favoritos because they're inexpensive and cheap, and I can walk the city with them, not have to worry about, oh, I drop it, okay, it's a couple euros, whatever.
Yeah, whatever, just grab another one, yeah.
But I'm excited, and it was so popular that we ran out of them.
Did you? Okay. And I'm going to, because it worked so well last time, when are we going to start seeing those?
Those are in inventory, but in small quantities now.
Okay.
I think
So
I have only 10,000 sticks.
trickling out a bit here and there.
Same thing with the tattoos
Yeah.
and the new packaging. We're burning through our old packaging here at the show with obviously a deal for the retailers that came to the show. And then after that, the new packaging will be seen. I'm actually happy about the new packaging because it's really clean, and when it's sitting on the shelf, you can see the word tattoo just going across the row.
So if you collect packaging, go get the old stuff because it's going away.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the
and I know
fancy
people,
one with the limited edition artwork. Yeah, it's gone.
People collect all the stuff. You know this.
Yeah.
I don't need to tell you this. You know this.
But
So what else we have happening?
other than that, I came out with a Series A and Series L in the Cojonu series out of Miami.
All right.
Series A was dedicated to Arnold, that used to be in the center of the booth, the dog.
Oh,
he passed
yeah.
away in December, and then my puppy Loki was 13 weeks old when he passed.
Oh.
So I made a 4x50 Cojonu, 2003 4x50. That's an ass kicker. Like, I smoke it for breakfast, and I start getting sweats from it.
Oh no! Wow.
It's just because you're
Wow.
taking a Cojonu 2003 and compacting it into a little guy, and it's a powerful little beast. It's an expensive cigar, but only one roller rolls them, and he rolls less of them per day to make sure that everyone's flawless. He's also the same roller that's rolling all the Escasso series in the fancy coffins that are over there,
Yeah.
which are going to be just obnoxiously priced.
Really? So what are we talking about when we're talking like expensive or obnoxiously priced?
Again, one roller rolls the Diademas, one roller rolls the other three Parejos. Between $50 and $75 a stick.
50 and 75?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I guess that qualifies.
Yeah.
It's obnoxiously priced. I thought you were going to say 15 or
No,
18.
no,
I'm like, well, you know,
we're doing like 20 boxes at a time.
20 at a time. Okay.
Yeah, not a lot.
You know, there are definitely people that are going to rush right out and grab those as many as they can, as soon as they can.
Well, I mean, it's gonna be kind of like placed in very key retailers around the country.
There's definitely a market for that. Not every shop needs to carry
It's a luxury item.
It really is.
Definitely a
It really
luxury
is.
item.
That would be, yeah.
So the
that's-
same week I come out with my $4 cigar, I came out with a $80 cigar.
So somewhere they average out, right?
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah,
that's,
buy both of them. You got a happy medium of,
yeah, exactly. You don't feel as bad about it, or you can buy both, but buy a little bit more of the one and one of the other. You know, you drive the average price per cigar down.
I'm excited by the Tattoo Favoritos and the Triunfador Favoritos because I think it's going to be really one of those cigars that people just grab handfuls of. I smoke a ton of them, of the Triunfadors. I keep them at the house, and when Babin comes by the house at night, he asks me for that particular one to smoke. So
Okay. It's the one Pepin smokes, so you know you want that.
well, yeah, sometimes he'll wander into my back terrace, and I'll be smoking a cigar outside, and he'll look at me and go, "Dame un chiquito."
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I gotta go eat him. Plus, they smoke for a long time and they burn like a razor. I wish I had more to give you guys because I think the last person that got one was about an hour ago.
And this is the end of the third day, basically. So we meant to get by sooner, but man, the schedule's been crazy. So
Well,
that's what happens.
you can blame Tripp for getting the last two cigars, actually.
I blame Tripp. We're coming for you. We're coming for you. So I think the big thing that everybody's been yammering about all throughout the show, and I have to ask you,
Yeah.
the changes that are happening. What do you think about them?
I like them.
I'd heard that you were positive.
I think we're putting Band-Aids on a giant open wound in this industry, and I think we need a lot of medical attention, and the industry has to come together as a whole, and we need to raise a lot of money for legal bills. From going from a $1.2 million base bill,
Yeah.
which was the number it was supposed to be, to 3.6. And I've learned that over the last few months about how much money that needs to be raised and how much money I've been helping to raise, to where, you know, it'd be nice to see this industry come to a nice cohesive unit and get this floor healthy and show the consumer base what we do here. I mean, I think of it as like a car show, or the porn show, or the consumer
like
electronics show,
AVN or something like that.
Yeah, the ABN show or the consumer electronics show. You know, you go to see the new phone or whatever,
Yeah.
iPad, and you know they're doing business right next to you, but you get to see what it's going to end up costing you when you go buy it at the store 6 months later. I think I was a consumer. I got in a retail job. I was like in heaven the first time my boss invited me to a trade show.
Yeah.
And I was a kid in a candy store, and I made sure that I went around looking for amazing products that no one else had. He used to bring his customers to the show.
Yeah,
And they were like his guide to what he needed to buy. So he would bring his two best clients to the show, and they would be spending $30,000-$40,000, in his store every year. What better way to buy exactly what you need to sell?
So my controversial idea on it was that there has been a push for a lot of years to stop the retailers from bringing in consumers on retail badges. And initially it sounded like a good thing, but I think by doing that, you remove some of the incentive of the retailers to come in the first place, because that's also a reward for their customers and they get the feedback. So I think that the unintended consequence of clearing those people out like they did, because they were determined to be a problem, was if fewer retailers showed up. I think there's unintended consequences that led to that. So by being more strict about admittance, they've actually hurt the organization as a whole.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody agrees with me, but that's what I think I see happening.
I think with a retailer will bring a few people with them. I think it's good, and it actually gives more people on the floor, and it makes it. During the boom, man, it was crazy around here.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, it got so crazy that they actually there were 3 tiers of who could get in the room. Like there were C stores, they would call them C stores, A, B, and C, and the C stores would get in last. They were the cigarette stores. They were looking for
to control
whatever.
the flow. Yeah.
But it was it became too much. The boom kind of messed up everything. But the boom also created this. I mean,
yeah.
Back then the booths weren't nearly this big.
It's true. So do you think then that Consumer Day is going to do that? Is that going to achieve what you're saying, raising the revenue? Do you think it'll happen?
Maybe not so much raising the revenue, but maybe raising awareness about what we do. And I know I'm going to be in the booth waiting for every person that walks in, and to greet them and answer questions and ask them where they're from. And if they're from Columbus, Ohio, I'm going to tell them to go to that store that's in Columbus, Ohio, if they're not with that retailer already.
Yeah.
And I don't mind the fact that if I'm in a bar the next night and I run into that same consumer, I want to hang out and shoot the shit, because it's not all about cigars for me.
Yeah.
When it's come to a conversation. I want people just to enjoy the industry. I think I'm positive, but
Okay. I respect
I want to
that
see.
point of view.
I want to see what happens. I think they're a little too optimistic of how many people are going to come.
I think that's part of it, and I think that there are logistical considerations that, of course, you as an exhibitor would know about, that we're not 100% sure about. But
I'm
I've
lucky.
heard some hints of that.
I have a booth that's very good for consumers and everybody to come into, because it's very open and flowing, but not every booth is like that.
You don't have a lot of boxes just sitting open. They're all behind glass.
No, yeah.
You don't have to worry too much
up.
about that, all locked up. So it's already secured and open to anybody to wander through without need for supervision. So, but not everybody's like that. So I've heard both ends. I mean, you're very positive. I know Steve Sock is very positive. There's some other guys that we've talked to that are very negative about it.
I just want to promote the industry. I mean, I really want this industry to be healthy. And again, I live in a fantasy world when it comes to this. I want the industry to be healthy. I want the industry to gather a lot of support. And then when we go up to Capitol Hill and try to make our point, we have one message, and it's to promote premium cigars. Whatever that definition might be right now. It seems to be changing a lot, but...
a little bit of that, yeah.
And we avoid having to deal with the FDA and all the crap that comes along with it. I don't mind certain things with the FDA. I think we've talked about this before. I mean, listen, I don't mind having my products registered with them so they know what I have on the street. Fine. I don't mind putting a warning label on, but I do mind that the warning label is the exact percentage of a cigarette pack warning label. I want it the same size as a cigarette pack warning label.
Yes. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Because when you have a packet that's this big and the warning label is 30% of that packet, it's very small.
Yeah.
And then you take a box and you have 30% of the box, the warning label is this big.
I mean,
that's completely unfair.
Yeah, it ruins the artwork, and that's part of.
I mean,
those warning labels are just garish. I mean, they're intentionally so.
You don't see anything here, but maybe there might be a couple laying around. But I have a little California warning label on pretty much every box I ship. It has a little warning symbol on it. That's a perfect size, and that's actually the size of a cigarette pack warning label.
Why should it be any bigger than that? I don't see a reason for it.
It doesn't take up any extra space. It doesn't take up any visual, but people still see it and they're warned.
They're aware of it.
Just because the warning label is this big doesn't mean it's going to drill someone's head into the point that it's bad for you.
I think the more obnoxious it is, the more determined the person is to go and do the opposite thing. Don't tell me what to do, especially don't be obnoxious about it.
Yeah.
It's been bothering me this whole time. What are you drinking? I have to know. Before we wrap things up, I have to know what you're drinking.
I was drinking...
And is it even legal? Oh, there we go.
I was drinking Saints and Sinners barrel pick of Willet.
Oh, nice.
146 bottles, and it's 122.2. I fell in love with it. When I saw the proof, I fell in love with 222 is my number. So
yes, yeah, that's right.
But I have more whiskey if you want to join me later.
I definitely do. But you got to join the Saints and Sinners Club to even have a shot at getting stuff like this. So that's already gone, though, right?
No, this is, well, it's not completely gone. I saved a few bottles.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But in the future, that sort of thing is Saints and Sinners Club.
But I have another Saints and Sinners bottle here, but it's the lower proof version.
Oh, there's a lower proof one.
Yeah, because every barrel from Willet that they do is barrel proof. So whatever it comes out of that day,
I see. Yeah,
it's
whatever
bottled
the barrel
at
is,
X.
Whatever the barrel is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm just pitching people on the Saints and Sinners Club. I'm helping you out here. Well, you know,
don't, because there's a lot of Saints and Sinners members that don't want new members.
That's
I
a good point.
want a community. I want a community of good people.
That's a good point. Little
care,
insiders click type of thing.
Yeah, I want a community that promotes the industry.
Yeah.
That's why this year with the Saints and Sinners, I included a CRA membership. So every member of the club actually gets a CRA membership, and in the CRA membership from us, we send them 2 extra, like a coffin with 2 cigars special for S&S CRA members.
Is that still open, or is membership?
We just closed it June 15th.
Okay.
So it's 2 weeks now it's been closed.
Okay. Well, did we cover everything? Is there anything else we need to talk about?
I think we're probably good. I'm sure you're going to get some B-roll on some of this stuff, right?
We'll take a look around. Yeah, definitely do that.
But yeah, I mean, we have red vines in our booth if you need some.
Do red vines. We'll get some B-roll of some red vines as well. Possibly us eating them slowly. Yep.
Yeah, they're dangerous actually.
Yeah, you know, I do kind of avoid them because they are dangerous. You start eating them, you're not going to stop eating them. But that's a tradition, right? Every year the red vines are here.
I think aside from red vines, the Hershey chocolates, you know.
Yeah, you got to have those.
But no, I think that's pretty much everything. I mean, you don't need to know about my other bills.
That's true. Yeah, and I think our battery's about to die anyway, so...
It's been dead for 20 minutes.
Yeah, probably. With that, I will say thank you and hope to God that this all worked.
See you guys.